News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News 46 is also brought to you by Integrity Home Health Care, caring for the Pahrump community for over 3 years. Call 775-751-5100 for your home health care needs. We are here to care for you. News is also brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Tonight on News 46, officials respond to a drug cleanup on Prospector Lane. The future of the Kingdom Club property remains in limbo, and Nye Community Coalition hosts hazmat classes. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Monique Mitchell. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, February 4th, 2014. I'm Monique Mitchell for News 46. Well, police, fire, and cleanup crews responded to Prospector Lane this morning for what officials are calling a drug cleanup of marijuana plants and possibly other narcotics.
Nye County Emergency Services, Nye County Sheriff's deputies, hazmat, and Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue all arrived on scene at the 4100 block here on Prospector Place, just off of Vanovich, for a cleanup. Nye County Sheriff's deputies did take one bag of what is alleged to be marijuana plants and placed it in their vehicle. Hazmat arrived on scene to do a further cleanup of what types of drugs we're not sure at this point. As far as the arrests that were conducted here, we haven't been privy to that information. However, there was one woman that was on scene here, as well as Nye County Animal Control. We'll let you know of any further developments in the story. This is Deanna O'Donnell on Prospector for News 46.
A 25-year-old former Pahrump resident, Alexis Bradley, was arraigned on January 31st on charges of child endangerment. Her boyfriend, 28-year-old Manuel Gonzalez, is accused of beating to death a 2-year-old Dominic Bradley on December 30th in Decatur, Illinois. Police sworn statements show Gonzalez admitted he slammed the little boy against the wall after he got angry at him for jumping on the bed. Gonzalez is a registered sex offender in Texas. He was convicted in 1997 assault of a 4-year-old girl. Gonzalez is charged with first-degree murder. Bradley is expected to appear in court on February 7th. Well, at the town board meeting, there was an agenda item to approve the de-annexation of 10 acres of property on South Homestead Road. The item came about because the owner of the Kingdom Club, Joe Richards, wants to open a brothel. Richards has proposed that he would close the club located at Homestead and Highway 160 if he would be allowed to open the brothel on the outskirts of town.
Well, that was put on by Amy Riches, and we postponed it for 30 days on advice of counsel so that he could do some research. I do understand it's going to come back at the next town board meeting, not 30 days. So it's already on the agenda, and we'll see what his advice is. From all my research that I've done is the town, as it's set up under NRS 269, we do not have any authority to de-annex or annex any property. That is solely on the shoulders of the county commissioners.
Let the public know why we were considering doing that.
Well, I think the whole thing comes around is Mr. Richards, or Mr.
Joe Richards.
Correct, thank you. Wanted to shut down the kingdom in exchange for a de-annexation of actually 4.5 acres out on the northwest corner of Silver and Homestead, so that he could ask for brothel zoning. Everybody, I'm sure, wants to see the brothel gone, or the kingdom gone, and it's an opportunity to have it closed down.
Well, I had said before, I really didn't think that the town board had the authority to de-annex any land. And I did want legal to look at that. And when it came up to that, I felt it was a good motion. The problem I saw with it was the fact that the town does not have the authority, as far as I can see. And a legal attorney said the same thing. He didn't think the town had the authority, and they wanted to go back and check. My thing to Commissioner Hollis was, if it's a good idea now, why wasn't it a good idea 10 years ago and the 8 years that he was on the commission? And we have a person that promised the commissioners many years ago that the property at Homestead and 160 would be a family-oriented restaurant, and somehow it got to be the Gentleman's Club, the Kingdom. And to me, if we had a contract with him today, what's to keep him from going back on that contract like he did with the commissioners? But where he has his property, for us to de-annex that property, it would be almost like de-annexing Mountain Falls right in the middle of Pahrump. There is property around his property that would remain in Pahrump.
So the reason why that Chicken Ranch and Sherry's Ranch is allowed to be there, because those are not technically in the town limits of Pahrump, so that they're allowed to be in Nye County but not in the town of Pahrump.
That is correct.
And so this would make it so that we would take the property that he's looking at, that he already owns, and say that's not in the town of Pahrump too, so that he can in turn have a legal brothel.
And that's what he's asking, and I can understand that, but that should be separate from the property at Homestead and 160.
Well, the state board has approved paying $130,000 to settle a lawsuit filed on behalf of a former Nevada inmate who was shackled while in labor and after giving birth. The Board of Examiners on Tuesday authorized the settlement with former inmate Valerie Neighbors. Neighbors gave birth in October of 2011. A federal lawsuit argued she was put at risk of substantial harm and subjected to inhumane treatment when she was shackled during transport to the hospital and after delivery. She was released from prison in May of 2012 after serving time for a nonviolent crime. The state is also implementing new policies dealing with treatment of pregnant inmates. As part of the settlement, the ACLU represented Neighbors and will receive $50,000 of the overall settlement. All right, folks, we'll keep it here because we're going to have more local news for you after this break.